most of the problems that we face in the modern world are actually very subtle privileges, and the fine line that separates actual problems, very deep problems, very destructive problems, from very great privileges, a certain gratitude when it comes to the misfortunes in your life. That very subtle line is just mentality. There isn't anything that you can do with a change of mentality. You could be starving in Africa, and if you actually change your mentality on the situation, you probably would feel like you eat like a king at every meal, every dinner, every lunch, every breakfast, if you just change your mentality. Let's take, for example, the classic problem losing weight. How many people in the world want to lose weight? Most of them, don't they? Most of the people on this earth are obese. Probably. The weasel world. The weasel word. Jesus Christ. So, if you wanted to think about losing weight as, wow, I am so unlucky, I put on fat so easily, I don't even know how to work out, I don't know what meals to eat, etc., you probably wouldn't lose weight. But if you were to think about it as, I got the opportunity to lose weight, most people don't even get the opportunity. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to even put on this much body fat. Then, of course, you probably would be more grateful for that problem. And obviously, if you're grateful for that problem, you'll find a way of making the problem better, which is actually destroying it, even though you do not want to call your problems destructive, or you do not want to say, I want to destroy my problems. Because one of the greatest lessons that I've learned about like problem solving from a lot of trial and error is that problems inherently aren't bad things. Like, they're not working always against you. Yes, in their nature they are. But if you change, as I said, that fine line of mentality and actually see them as things that can test your potential, that can test how good you are at solving them, or something that just calls you for you to find a creative solution to them, then they can be something quite positive, something that you quite enjoy solving, or even making the problems better. Because problems don't ever go away, you just get enhanced versions of them, which is very fun, isn't it? Let's take another problem. I want to stay less on my phone. I do not want to scroll on Instagram anymore. You get the opportunity to scroll on Instagram. A lot of people do not know what a phone is yet. I am sure. Or maybe they know what a phone is. But they certainly don't have one. You get the privilege of knowing how to install an app. You get the privilege of knowing, of having the, I guess, ability to scroll on Instagram. If you're grateful for being able to do that, you can recognize that yes, I'm lucky to have this problem. It's a privilege. It does have negative effects on my life though. Okay, how can I be aware of its privileges while also trying to solve it? Now, this is the very tricky question, which I am currently, at this very moment, trying to think of a solution for. But you need to keep in mind, I think the only thing that you need to keep in mind is that most of your problems are actually privileges. Like, yes, even if they have very negative effects and you need to get rid of them, you still got the opportunity to have them be problems in your life. So whatever happens, you probably will be okay. Because most problems, when people try to solve a problem, is that there's this mentality of, if I don't solve it with this specific solution, my life goes blank. My life becomes an inferno. And that's not a good way of thinking about it. Because problems take years to solve, don't they? You need to try tens, hundreds, thousands of different solutions before you actually solve a problem. That's because they're privileges. You get accustomed to privileges, and then it's really hard to get rid of them. That's at least one of my theories on why problems are somewhat hard to solve. But you should be grateful for them, certainly, but still be aware that even though they are privileges, their privileges is like a private law. That's the etymology. They're a privilege, a private law, but maybe that law should not apply to you. Maybe you could do something to make that law better. Kind of change the Constitution in order for the Constitution to favor you. Because privileges ultimately are a law that is imposed. A privilege is a law that is imposed on you. So how can you make a privilege better? By controlling it. So even though your problems are privileges, in a very philosophically turbulent ending, even though they are privileges, they are laws when it comes to their etymology. And to make them better laws, you need to take control over those privileges. And that's basically how you make the privileges, the problems, better. You actually take control over them. You assume responsibility while still slightly considering them privileges, even though you want to get rid of them. They're kind of laws, but you really need to modify them in order for them to actually be fully beneficial to you. I'll see you later.